Okay, guys, this is pretty much going to be a simple log. I never really done this. Is like the first time I've done this kind of log before, but since I was playing the game, I figured I'd give my own take on it. The game is called The Godfather: The Five Families. It's a pretty much an internet game, social game, pretty much, and the game is pretty much you playing with a bunch of others. Basically building up your crime family and trying to take over pretty much all of New York City. You can pick from all the five families. It has a history of the five families. I picked the Conan family. I think that's what they call it. And basically, I've been playing for 3 days. Have been setting up my empire slowly, steadily. Have been giving the feel for the game. I was gonna wait a few more days before I give this review, but I figured I'd just talk about my experience with the game thus far, and we'll talk more about this as I continue to play. My first initial feeling on this game, it's so and so for me. It's not a terrible game. It's actually very, very hard. But I'm not going to say it's a great game either. It's a game that pretty much, if you want to kill lots of time, you're definitely going to kill lots of time with this game. This game, you need to have a lot of patience and a lot of free time to play, because this game really, really is a difficult and very... You have to really master what you're doing to order to get a full experience. Now, the very first I'm going to say, this game has been promoted as a free online game. I'm going to tell you now, that is not always the case. While the gameplay itself is a relatively free format game, the items, certain items, are not. You're going to eventually going to have to pay to get these items, and some of these items that you have to pay for, you definitely need to further advance your gameplay. Now, I don't have a problem with this for the most part. I really don't, because they have to pay for it somehow. They have to pay for the upkeep of that game staying online. So in many ways, I'm not upset by it, but at the same time, it does seem to drop my game interest down just a bit. And the reason why is, it's one thing if I beat the game, or I want to have an extra bonus, like I unlock an extra bonus, and if I want to buy that bonus, then yeah, that's for my discretion to buy it. I have no problem with that. But when something you need to further advance your game, and the only way you're going to get it if you buy it Visa, by credit card, by phone minutes, or even by PayPal, it does take away some of the things that I probably would have liked about the game. It's just me. I know a lot of people out there disagree about it, but that's just me. What I will say about this is that if you do get the advance, if you do pay for these enhancements, you'll find that it comes very useful at the right time. One of the best enhancements that you probably want to get is the speed time, and I'll explain more to that in a little bit. But I want to talk about how this mechanics work. If you played Wars of Warcraft or any kinds of Dungeons and Dragons style games, or even just war games in general, this is pretty much how that format works here. You have to set up first you have to set up your neighborhood. You have to have a restaurant for your guys, for your crew to eat. You have to set up a steel mill to produce steel. You have to set up a cement area to produce rocks. All these products are very important, because the more you build these up, the more you can able to produce coming out of your headquarters. You have a hideout, hotels, and the more hotels you build, the more money you can produce. That's very important. You always want to have as at least minimum 3 hotels when you start off to produce. How you gain money? There's a mode called the racket mode, where you have different areas where you collect money. One of the main ones is the train. Every 10 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on how many levels you are, it comes in, and you collect $700 plus. You also have the theater, where every 10-15 minutes you're collecting 2,300. You have another racketeering that you're dealing with, where you collect a whole lots of money every 18 hours. So all these play into gaining extra money. You also gain money when you go to war with, say, the neighborhood or fellow gang. And what happens is you declare war and you take whatever they have left over. This is all plays an important part. It also can speed up the game, or it can also slow down the game depending on how you play this game. When you go to your main headquarters, you're going to get a little bit of assignment. One is going to say build this, build that, learn this, learn that, and the more you learn, the more stuff the more it gets, the better off you'll be when it comes to fighting off your enemy. You do not want to fight your enemies with little men or just a 0 level, because you will lose almost every time. They pretty much give you a couple of goons to start off with, but you don't want to start off with the goons. You want to have a nice establishment already in place before you go to war with any of the other family members, because you're not only just playing with you, you're also playing against another enemy, and that is very, very key, because it's pretty much, remember I say, you're playing with people you don't know, people don't see, and they can easily attack you just as well as you can attack them. Another thing that you also want to do, you want to surround, because you get a mansion, and when you start off, it's a beat down, run down mansion. You have to fix these mansions. They got to fix that up. You want to level those buildings up, and each time you level up a specific building, you can learn more or advance your learning. If you if you level up the warehouse, their training levels up, and it's very important, because the more levels you have for your warehouse, the less time it takes to train your guys. And again, that goes back to time, and I'm gonna get back to it also. Another thing that also that's helpful is the library. All the information about the library. The mansion is important, the guest house is important, everything is important from the gate to the fence. So you always want to level that up, but you don't want to go too much into that, because you may bring an imbalance, and you want to need to keep a balance. And I'll explain why. The one thing I like about this game very, very much is the fact is it's not all about the money. I find myself messing up all the time when I do this. I always forget that it's more about the other items you have, which is steel, which is some cement, but most importantly, and I find this to be the #1 priority, and not the money, because the money is always coming in for me, and I've been playing this for 3 days. I'm not worried about the money. It's the food. If you don't have a specific amount of food that's required to build this or to train a specific guys, you can't do anything. They're not going to let you advance. You have to have a certain amount of money, but most importantly, you have to have a certain amount of food to help advance the characters. And I find that quite interesting, and I actually like that mode, that it's not just the money you need, but the other equipment to keep the balance. And they show you when you select a certain specific item that you want to level up or build or advance, they'll show you the stuff you need. And this is very important, because the more food you have, the more likely you can train your guys. Add that plus with the money you're gaining from all the raids and everything else, you want to have a large amount of food ready. Another thing also is, and this can also be either a blessing or curse to those who are playing this game, is that when you attack, you're giving a specific amount of turns. If you use up those turns, you can attack. They will not allow you to attack, and it takes anywhere from 10 I believe it's 10 minutes per attack. So every 10 minutes you're getting a new attack. I think the maximum, at least for me for now, is 30, because I'm just starting off. Now it may change after I get more and more experience. It may not. I have to play longer to understand. But for right now, it's 30. And how you attack your enemies is you gotta be specific. There's a certain menu on the left side of your monitor. You'll see it right down on the line. You see you have a map where it shows the whole entire city. You have your neighborhood map, and you have your mansion. And each time when you select a specific item, it will be told directly to your mansion. But you can go anywhere when you reach your neighborhood, or you can go to your neighborhood where you can see where the available spots. You can build your own neighborhood right there, or you can just go to the map, and then right there, when you reach that city map, you will see the city as a whole, and you'll see that who your rival gangs are and where's that area that's vacated. And every time you clicked on that particular space, it showed you a specific level, whether this is level 1, level 2, level 3. There's actually level 9 buildings over there, and some of them are vacated, some of them are not. It all depends on how strong your mob is. It's it all goes by the levels and the strength. And it's pretty cool because that's the way it really is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a cakewalk, and I actually like that. What I don't like about this game, besides the fact that you may have to, but if you want to further advance your game, you have to pay for almost everything, which, by the way, is not cheap. It's very, very expensive. The stuff you need to get in this game can run anywhere from $14 to almost $100. That's how expensive that is, and it's very unfortunate. And when I first saw that, I almost gave up on this game. But I said, maybe just play a little further as I can, just to give a more better feel. Maybe they'll give me something free, which they do from time to time. But it does discourage my play. Now, here's the thing, though. Depending on what mode, it can actually be cheaper. If you're paying in credit card, then you're gonna get a lot of expensive stuff. If you're paying with pen pal, the price goes down. If you're paying with cell phone, they actually do also go on prices. So it's not just one price for everything. It's certain specific prices and it's certain area menus that you got to select to get those prices. So just keep that in mind if you guys are willing to play it. Like I said, the game itself, playing it is free. The extra enhancement to further enhance the gameplay is not. And if you're not careful with the stuff you already have, the game could be very long and you can lose interest very fast. And this is the reason why. This game is on real time. When I mean real time, I mean real time. Every minute is matched with everything you do. If it says it takes 10 minutes to get this guy trained, guess what? You're waiting 10 minutes to get that guy trained. The time doesn't speed up. It's exactly what that minute that they say it is. 10 minutes and you're going to wait. And that could be a very burden because sometimes, because on a level, you can only train so many at a time. Once you train a specific group of people, you can't train another group of people. At least right now, for what I'm playing, you can't train nobody else. You can't just say, oh, I can train while he's being trained, I can train this. No, it doesn't work that way. It's one at a time. Now, keep in mind, I'm on a low level. Hopefully, if I get a higher level, it'll change that. But for now, that's the thing I'm going to deal with, and it can be very, very frustrating. Another thing that's also go the same with the buildings. You can't build another building while there's one in the process of being built. You can't do that, and it's annoying. This is specifically when you're building up your mansion. You're building up the wall. It can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. Same thing with the library, because you got a library inside the mansion wall. That can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. The only buildings that doesn't take too long are the ones like the restaurants and the hideouts, and those, they don't take that long. They take probably the maximum is 4 minutes. But when you're dealing with a larger group, like building your gang together, building up your mansion to make it look like a dominant fortress, it can take a while, and after a while it can also lose interest in the gameplay. There is one advantage to that I found, and I found it very interesting, that when you stop playing the game, when you turn it off, the game timeline doesn't stop. You're still earning money. You're still earning food supply. You're still earning, some cement, and you're still earning steel. That doesn't stop. You actually are still earning those points, and that's a good thing in many ways, because you can come back and say, "Oh my God, I got all this money, I got all this steals," and you can build a very large army the next day. And you can just establishment. You can use it to put them on territories, or you can use it to have an all-out invasion. That's the only good thing I actually do like about the real time, because when you stop playing, the game technically doesn't stop. You're still generating points even when you're not playing, which is okay. It's real time. Obviously, they're gonna keep it going, and they give you reports and everything else, which is actually also cool. What else I can tell you about the game? The music, the music was actually good. I actually liked it. It only is one music, but it's all it really needs. You can turn it off or on if you want. You can also turn the sound effects on and off if you want. It's definitely a game that you can kill time. I like the way the strategy play is, but then again, if you played, I think what they call the London Job or the Getaway, I think you actually will understand how this game goes. You're basically trying to take over as much turf as you can until you're the only one left standing. That's how the game goes. And the more people you have, the more strong people you got, like hitmans, and you have arsonists. You have, it's the speeders. I don't know what the hell they call them, but they call speeders. You have the goons, and you have the muscles. You have a lot of these guys there. There's a whole bunch of guys there. If you've got enough guys, you got a nice strong balance within your territory, you can actually make this a very exciting game. However, it's a game that you need a lot of patience. It's a game you need a lot of free time, and for the most part, if you're not a person who's patient, not a person who has a lot of free time, this game could pretty much get on your nerves very quickly, or it can pretty much become one of the best things you have. It really all depends on your taste of games. One of the things I say, it's not a terrible game. It's just one of those games that I have to be a little bit more patient with. I'm gonna play it for a while longer. If I find something new about the game, I'll talk about it. But it's definitely not one of the worst games. It's actually pretty good. It got a very good rating by people who played it. So obviously, it's one of those games that actually it's very popular right now. It's made by Ken Powell, I believe, and it's associated with Paramount. And it's online now. You can still play. All you need to do is Google the Godfarther 5families.com. You have to register, of course, but it's pretty much a game that's basically can kill time, and that's pretty much it. Do I think the game is gonna it's gonna be a PlayStation format? I don't think so. I think it's fine just the way it is, but like I said, you just have to have patience with it. If I gotta give it a star rating, I don't want to give it a star rating. I'll give it a number rating. I'm gonna say it's 50-50. I'll give it a 50%. 5 out of 5 is not a terrible game, but the reason why I'm giving it 5 out of 5, at times I do lose interest. Like I said, you have to be patient. When everything is being done and you can't do nothing else, you will lose interest on it very, very quickly. But that's just my opinion. That's how it is. If you guys play this game and you got some tips and advice on how to collect more stuff, please put it down in the comment section. Did you like the game? Did you didn't like the game so far? Tell me your experience on the game. I like to hear from it. But until then, this is J77. Take care.